Good afternoon, I'm Kat Ward and this is 12 and a half minutes, the Founders Series, brought to you by Elevator, one of Scotland's leading entrepreneurial and business support organisations. So at Elevator, we're all about helping people turn their big ideas and dreams into viable businesses. And what that sometimes means when some of our founders are on our Accelerator programmes is that they have to pivot and maybe start thinking differently about their skills and how they use them and how they apply them to the business market. And someone who's done that brilliantly is today's guest. So I'm delighted that we're joined today by Caroline Laurenson, co-founder of TL Tech and graduate of the One Digital Accelerator Programme run last year in Aberdeen. Caroline, how are you? How are you today?
We're good, Jess, yes.
Good, it's lovely to see you. Things well?
Yeah, awesome. I am very much looking forward to the weekend, yes. It's been another busy week.
I can imagine you're a very busy lady, and we're going to talk in a few minutes about the number of different plates that you're spinning. So we'll have a little chat, but in the meantime, it would be great if you can tell our audience a little bit about you and the TL Tech story.
Cool, I'd love to. So TL Tech were formed, I guess, with the ambition of being plumbers of the smart home world. So we specialise in smart home technology, helping people to create unique home environments, so to be able to get the best out of their living environment and make life as easy and convenient as possible. Actually, a year ago, we got the opportunity to do a boot camp, and this boot camp was to allow us to join the Digital Accelerator Programme that was being run by Opportunity Northeast and Elevator. And it's just been a bit of a whirlwind since then. And like Kat was saying, the programme really helped us to think about our service, about our unique value proposition. And really interestingly, what we saw was that the technology is hugely empowering, and that we could do a lot of good being using our knowledge and helping people who are vulnerable or elderly to be able to adopt these technologies to improve their lives and give them independence. So the last year has been very busy for us, looking at how we can focus our business in this area. And then obviously COVID-19 hit, earlier in the year. And that has made us reevaluate things again and thinking, well, so before we were going to people's houses and doing surveys and getting to know them and their families, and, we just can't do that anymore. So in March, we started thinking about what could we do that was really going to help and support the people in the home. So the last couple of months, we have moved our business online. We've been doing Facebook live tutorials where we share all our great knowledge about voice assistants and how they can be used as a really good connectivity tool to help you link in with family and friends. And then the other kind of well-being aspects that you can get from these devices. So yeah, it's just been super, super busy, and we're really excited to see where it takes us next.
It sounds amazing, and it's fair to say, Caroline, that you are an extremely busy lady. So you've got, well, tell us, you're not only running a business.
Yeah, so we've obviously got our family as well. So I have a son and a daughter, both at school. Our son just started secondary school, which he's absolutely loving. And it is really nice for them to be back at school. But to be honest, yeah, the last few months, like everybody, it's a big juggle to homeschool and run a business. I still work part-time as well. So whilst we're trying to build up, the business and the customer base and, the brand behind it, we still need to work to pay the bills as well. So I do some engineering work as well part-time.
That's amazing. My mum used to say if you wanted something done, ask a busy person. So she was obviously thinking about somebody like you, Caroline, because you get
I
lots
think
of
so,
things
yeah.
done. And the secret, for that is we talked, the other week there about good stress and about tell us a wee bit more about
Yeah, because I think,
that ability.
you need to know when to stop, obviously, but then you also need to know what's comfortable for you. And people have different thresholds. And I guess for me, what I find is that you can get really engrossed in something that you're passionate about. So because our mission is all about helping people and empowering people and giving them a good quality of life, it really spurs you on, because any setback or any knockback, you just have to keep going back to, well, fundamentally, why am I doing what I'm doing? And I think that's what really helps. So, if you do start to feel a bit overwhelmed, so this week has been a bit overwhelming. Yeah, and it's your support networks as well. So I've had some lovely conversations this week that have really helped. Emails as well that have really helped, just to make sure that I am keeping my head in the right space. So yeah, running a business is hard. So yeah, draw upon your network as well.
Yeah. And we talked about the support that you've had from the other agencies, apart from the Accelerator Programme, but other people that have supported you on that journey. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I guess what's been really nice about the last year is that, as well as Elevator Support, we've got the Opportunity Northeast and the Digital Tech Hub. So that's like a whole new family for us. They are so supportive of what we're doing and always ready to help us come up with new suggestions or even give us feedback on stuff. So even today we've had some email correspondence with some feedback on this new project that we're working on. So yes, they're super, super helpful. We're so lucky.
Fantastic. And I guess a big part of being on the Accelerator Programme was developing that network of contacts as well.
Yes, yeah. And yeah, I mean, even, some of the contacts that we have now with likes of Aberdeen University, Robert Gordon's University, where we found our first employee. So our first employee, Katerina, actually came to us through the Data Lab scheme. So they do an MSc scheme where they match up students for projects. So she's an RDU student, but it's one of the Data Lab sponsorship students. So yeah, I think those networks, they are so important, because you never actually know when they will, when that perfect serendipitous moment will happen. I mean, for us to find a student that we really clicked with, and actually she's going to stay on with us longer, it's just really special. So yeah, having all those networks, so you never know when they're going to bring out that magic moment. Yeah.
And I'm also interested to know about credibility, because it's difficult starting out in the sector, in any new business, but I think particularly with the sector that you're working in, the care sector. We talked about this, the struggle with credibility. How do you think being on the Accelerator Programme and developing those networks has helped you with that?
Yeah, so I mean, that's something that we're still working on even now. And it certainly is something that, within our organisation, we probably need to address by perhaps taking on another staff member who has much more expertise within the care sector. Thomas has actually been working seconded out to a housing association for the last while. So about the last year, he's been doing some work with the housing association. And I think that's been a great help in us understanding more about that business to business model as well. So if you remember, I talked about being the plumbers of the smart home world. So that's a very consumer focused, business model. Whereas actually what the Accelerator kind of showed us was that if we're looking at business models, we really need to be thinking as well about how do we work with care providers and maybe sheltered housing or people who are doing new residential development, so those sorts of things. But that's all still very much a work in progress to, see how that works out for us.
And we should clarify that Thomas is not only the other half of TL Tech, but he's your other half as well. So
yes, so we are a dynamic duo. Yes.
Sounds like The Incredibles, the whole family together, because I believe that your kids are also taking an interest in the business side of things too.
Yeah, well, they both they really like STEM subjects. So we're both engineers, and they really love anything that's science and engineering related. The amount of times when I'm doing workshops, so I do a lot of workshops at schools and with the science centre as well. And anytime that I'm away doing a workshop, they'll always turn up and want to get involved. They just love that. And I think, did we speak last time about the Smart Dolls house? So we have this really amazing, cool Smart Dolls house that we built with the idea of taking it to schools, which we can't do at the moment, but it's got the smart tech in it, and we can help the children learn about programming side of things. And also what's actually really important for me when I'm speaking to the kids about things is, you don't design something just for the sake of it. It's there for a purpose. It has to do something useful. So the Smart Dolls house is a way for us to speak to the children about, well, let's imagine that you lived in this house, but perhaps you had mobility difficulties or some kind of physical impairment, and get them to really think about, well, how could we adapt that house to make it even better for the person living in it? And then you can really get them to think more about how they could make the designs work better.
And hopefully there may be Accelerator future founders. We never know for the next venture, 2030. Tell us a little bit about Kind Space, Caroline.
Yeah, so this is our newest project. So Kind Space is an Alexa skill which can help to improve your well-being. So the idea is that it monitors key well-being indicators, and then based on your responses, can then give you some tips and activities that you can do to improve your well-being. We decided to develop it because we've been doing a lot more work with voice assistants, and we know how beneficial they are to helping alleviate loneliness. And we felt that this was a very important skill to help people in the home, particularly at the moment, because we're spending more time in our homes. I think that people's mental health may start to be declining and being affected negatively. So we wanted to build something that will really help people at home.
And this is the next big project for you to develop.
Yeah. So we've actually got our crowdfunder is kicking off on Wednesday next week. So you can check it out on the crowdfunder website. It goes live on Wednesday, the 26th. We're looking for some funding just to help us to finish the build. So we're obviously coding everything. We have an amazing library of all the skills tips, and we still to do some testing. So we would like just a little bit more input just to help us get it into the skills store. And we're hoping that we can get it launched in September.
That's wonderful. As you can see, we're coming to the end of our chat, which is a shame. There's never enough time. But I also wanted to flag up, there's another very important date in the diary coming up in September where you're up for an award.
That is right, yes. So there is an award called the Tech for Good Awards that is run by AbilityNet. AbilityNet are an amazing organisation. They do an awful lot of work promoting digital inclusion, so helping people to get access to digital products and services, particularly things like your desktop computers and tablets, showing people how to use those skills, perhaps if they're wanting to get into work or even just to do day-to-day tasks. So we're super excited about that. So that's towards the end of September that the awards ceremony is.
And people can vote online for that at the moment as well. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually linked to the crowdfunder campaign. So if you support our campaign, then we can be in with a chance of winning in that extra category. So there's an extra special category for the campaigns.
Brilliant. Well, Caroline, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you. What a fantastic, inspirational story. But I think you've definitely deserved a chance to put your feet up tonight. So I hope it's a takeaway and a glass of something nice for you. Thank you so much for your time. Look forward to catching up with you very soon. Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you so much.
So for those of you that are thinking, I don't have time to do an accelerator programme, please take inspiration from Caroline, who is not only running a business, looking after a family and working part-time as well, and all doing it in such a brilliantly calm and inspiring manner. It's been a pleasure to have your company today. Coming up next week, we are going to be joined by Jolene Guthrie, founder of Jag Knitwear and Alumna from the Famous Grouse Ideas Centre Creative Accelerator that we run in Perth. So can't wait to see her. We're going to be looking at some of her fantastic products as well. In the meantime, have a fabulous weekend and be brave. Thank you.